Hi, and welcome to another episode here of the Team Playbook. Today we got on Tara Horn, who's gonna, share some of her wealth of knowledge. She is the CEO and founder of Simple Day. Um, and yeah, so Tara, I guess we'll start with you to provide a little introduction here about yourself.
Awesome. First, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being here. So my name's Tara. I am currently the founder of a company called Simple Day. We started almost 4 years ago. I actually started my journey in a very different place. I went to Columbia Graduate School for Occupational Therapy, eventually went into biotech, started an e-commerce company, went into business development and then marketing. And when I was at my last job, I was like, you know what, I think it's time to work for myself. And that's basically when I started this company, just simply out of a love for Monday.com because I wanted to get involved with that, which is what we do now, and just was looking for a new adventure.
Yeah, that's great. Well, so that you have quite a background. How would you say that sort of impacted your experience, what you're doing now? What sort of perspective it sort of gives you on everything, and then how that, how you're operating within your business because of that.
Right. Yeah. So I think that having the backgrounds that I have has been unbelievably advantageous to what I'm doing. Because when I started this new company, like because my background was in marketing, immediately I was like, okay, I have to build a website. Great. I built a website by myself. I have to set up social media channels. I knew about SEO, like everything that you need to do to get started. In addition to processes, like a lot of people that get started, usually they start with the thing they're doing. Like a lot of other Monday implementators, which is where I started as a freelancer when I started this company, was okay, let's just start implementing Monday. And it's true, I did that. But at the same time, I was building, like the brand of the company just because I knew that's what you had to do. So it
Yeah.
was definitely, I picked up a lot from my past job. So, I think working in different places, you never know what you're going to pick up and when you're going to need it again in life.
Yeah, yeah, I know. There's so many different experiences, unique experiences that you can have in di different fields, and you don't realize how applicable it can be in other areas until you've experienced it and know it,
Right.
which is great. And I like to always ask, like, what was it like going from sort of all those 9 to 5 jobs and stuff like that now to like running your own business and growing the way you have, and what's that been like over the last 4 years?
It's definitely been a challenge. Like one of the reasons why I started this was, I started towards like in the middle of Corona, and I just like enjoyed working from home. So I was like, it's really nice to be able to have the freedom and flexibility, work from home in my pajamas. Then it was like something that was new. Now I know everyone does it, but then it was
Yeah,
something new. So I wanted that flexibility. I wanted to have that freedom. From that aspect, it was really good. But and I also have like the flexibility to like travel whenever I want, take off whenever I want. But at the end of the day, like, I'm also responsible for everything. So if
yeah,
something's going wrong or there's a fire I need to put out, it definitely all falls on my shoulders. So I would say that there's pros and cons for anyone going
yeah,
through that, and you'll definitely feel them.
yeah. Speaking of the pajamas, don't ask me to stand up, right? We all work from home, so um, but yeah, so that's great. And the thing is, it's like I guess in what advice would you have for people that are deciding that they want to sort of go off and start doing their own thing? It sounds like you sort of took some baby steps to it, which is good with freelance and stuff, and now with your business where it's at now. But what advice would you have for
Right.
entrepreneurs like
So,
that?
yeah, I did take baby steps because the marketing company where I was working at, they needed me part-time. So I was able to be there part-time while also starting this other company. So financially, I didn't have this stress, that all of a sudden I don't have a job. I mean, it was my decision to leave, but
Yeah,
I didn't have that stress as much. I would say a few things. The first thing I would say, start with a coach. Like, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, even now, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, but
yeah,
you don't know what you're doing. It's worthwhile to invest in a coach because they're going to tell you so many things that will just save you so much time. Now, I feel like there's a lot of things that I went through and I needed to go through them. And then I was like, oh, now I get why that coach
yeah,
said to me, you shouldn't do this or you should have done that. But having someone direct you in the right way, I think first, I would say, is one really important thing. And the other thing to keep in mind is that you need to start building awareness about whatever you're doing. So, whether that means building an audience on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, like whatever channels relevant, an email list, I think you need to start as early as possible. And the third thing I would say is start setting up systems, because systems are just what helps you keep focused and keep everything running. If not, you're running around like not sure what you're doing and can't keep track of everything. And I think people lose that a lot when they're first starting out, because they're trying to do it all, which I totally get because I did the same thing.
Yeah.
But you need those systems, because then you can like easily pass something to someone else. You understand what needs to be done, and you end up actually saving yourself a lot of time.
Yeah, I feel like that's got to be like one of the hard things, like giving up that thing that you've owned and just and trusting that it's going to get done the right way. Because I mean, you know how to do it, and you know your process, but I think that it's especially in a growing, scaling business, you're giving up more things to go more on the higher level of your operations, and you can't necessarily be in the nitty gritty as much as you sometimes want to.
Yeah,
You know,
it's very
I'm
hard.
definitely someone that likes to dive in, and you have to always, I think, catch yourself like you're getting stuck in the weeds, and it's like you got to pull yourself out sometimes.
Right. Yeah, you have to work
Um,
on the business, not in the business.
yeah,
For a lot of times I was working in the business, and even now, like there's things that like we always have trouble finding a graphic designer. So it's like, okay,
yeah,
Tara, go build a landing page,
yeah,
which is it is what it is. That's kind of like when you run a business, you also do end up doing that, but it is really
yeah,
important to be able to step out of it and manage and
yeah,
hand things off. Like I'm not always so good at delegating until I really feel that I can trust them.
yeah.
So yeah, it takes time.
Well, let's pivot a little bit. So, our focus in the audience here is real estate professionals. And so with what you're doing, Monday.com, you know, how would you say what you offer, can help people in our world, in this world, become more efficient or more productive? And I guess like basically what are you offering, right?
Right.
What's sort of the pitch here?
Yeah. So just a little bit about what I do. So
Yeah.
Monday.com is an online platform that has project management, and it also has a CRM, which is a way to kind of keep track of your potential customers, your pipeline, your current customers. So what we do at Simple Day is we help companies that want to use Monday and they need help doing custom implementations. So we've actually worked with a lot of different people in the real estate world, either, people that are selling real estate, a lot of developers, a lot of people that are managing apartments, managing construction projects, but within the realm of like, okay, we bought it, we manage it, and also like the Airbnb world, I find like a lot of people
Yeah.
are managing different Airbnbs. So even though I'm going to say this in relation to real estate, I honestly think it's relevant for any company. Like you need to understand what's going on in your company. We're talking about real
Yeah.
estate. Like, okay, how many leads do you have coming in? Where are your leads coming from? Like, if you don't, like, one of the things that I think is really important, like, is first of all, what are you doing every day? Like, you need to know, what am I doing every day to help push my business forward? If that's in your head or on someone else's notebook, like that's not really going to help you run a
Yeah.
company. That's going to help you be a one-man show. Additionally, you need to have data to understand like what's working and what's not. I'll give you a great example. For real estate, I know that, a lot of people do a lot of paid ads and they do a lot of marketing. So they could have different types of marketing campaigns that they're doing. But if you're not keeping track of that and you're just spending money on all of your marketing campaigns, like how do you know which one did well for you? Because what if you weren't tracking it? What if one helped you sell two houses, but you chose the wrong one? So it's such a
Yeah.
simple example, but I think like keeping track of data and being able to understand it is critical. That's really what we do when we help someone set up a custom implementation within Monday, is because we help them understand what their workflow is, what they need to use within Monday in order to keep track of this. And then we actually did a really fun setup for someone out in California, a real estate agent. We actually built a custom portal for him. So he uses Monday like as the back end, and then he has a custom portal for his clients where they can sign in and see like what their offer was and if it was accepted or not, or browse different houses, save different houses that they're
Well,
interested
that's
in.
great.
Yeah, and like see the whole process while it's going
Yeah.
through like all the different steps. Yeah, so that was a fun project.
Yeah, that's definitely in our world. That's definitely something the clients don't necessarily get, that visibility. It's just like, hey, trust us, we're doing this. Don't worry, we're taking care of it. So that visibility, that's pretty nice. It definitely can
Yeah,
help the experience for your clients and everyone you're working with. And
right. And
um,
also, like one other thing about that, sorry,
yeah,
is from the work that I've done with real estate agents or developers, like it's all the same thing every single time. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
you're not okay, you may need to be creative about your marketing campaigns, but like you're always doing the same thing, sending out
yeah,
an offer letter and whatever the steps are to help them for the mortgage. So having a system like relieves you of having to think about anything because you're just like, it's on autopilot. Like, great,
yeah,
we sold the house. Now what do we do? Or we're pre-sale. What do we do next? And that's why I think having a system,
yeah,
any system you use, personally, I like Monday, but any system you use,
yeah,
I think really helps reduce your time spending on figuring out these systems so you can actually work in ways that make you money.
yeah. So would you say? So what you're doing is you're consulting, setting up the system for your clients, and you're helping them just become more efficient, and also helping them actually identify and be able to interpret data as well. I think that's an important piece, especially when you're talking about ROI on your whatever lead gen that you're coming in from. Like, I think that's huge, especially in this world. All brokers and real estate agents, and it's the amount of money that they spend on marketing. It's a lot. It's typically the one of the biggest lines in their expenses. So just actually knowing that you're spending money wisely in certain areas, and I think that's because you're always wherever you're getting this from, or wherever you're spending it. Um, sometimes you're not going to have that visibility unless you do it yourself. So, some, maybe third party companies will give it to you, but it's not necessarily common. But that's great. And I like that too. It's like how customizable is all of Monday, and how you guys go about, sort of building it out.
So it's an unbelievably customizable platform. I mean, obviously, you're
Yeah.
working within the framework of Monday, but there's a lot of flexibility in it. The truth is, though, at the end of the day, like most people are doing the same things. Like if we're talking about tracking your pipeline for your potential leads of buyers or sellers, it's pretty straightforward, like the information you need. But Monday as a company is actually really working very hard to add AI like into the base of their platform. It's not just like, okay, you have an AI button here or whatever it is. So there's a few things that have been really helpful within setups. One thing that they have is they just recently launched AI agents, so you can actually have like an AI agent look for leads for you. So you can give them like, oh, these are my ideal customer profile. Okay, I want people that are living in this place, doing this type of job, whatever it is. And then you can actually have them make phone calls for you, which is like crazy to me. I know
Yeah.
like everyone's doing it, but it's very
Yeah.
cool. And you can have them set up meetings.
Yeah.
And they also have something called Monday Vibe, which basically you can build your own app within Monday. So it really allows you to customize the experience a lot more than still working within the platform.
That's great. And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, that's an excellent pivot too, of where I want to go to, because I want to talk about some of this AI stuff and how that is actually being implemented now. Um, I think there's actually a pretty big misconception out there for a lot of people, is like when they hear AI, they think Gemini, they think ChatGTP, basically using it as like a search bar, like a Google,
Correct.
basically. And it's not that. I mean, it is that, but
But it's so much
but
more.
it's so much more than
Yeah.
that. So in your world right now, how do you see the impacts? Where do you think the biggest impact is happening with all these AI tools coming in, and how is it that you're implementing some of this just in your business?
Right. Yeah, so that's a great question. I think we're all grappling with AI and what to do with it. Honestly, I was thinking about this today. Like, I feel like I read LinkedIn and everyone has these like new $1 million, ARR in
Yeah,
like one day. And
yeah,
they have these unbelievable product companies that's going to change your life. And then like I talk to my customers and they're just like, well, we're trying to use AI, and it's like like there's such a difference of like what I see out like people talking
Yeah.
about on LinkedIn versus what people are actually using. So we actually do a lot with workflows, and when you have workflows, like AI is part of it. So I'll give you a few good examples. So we use a recorder called Fathom. It basically like records all of our calls. So what we do is we take the transcripts, we automatically pull them from Fathom, we send it to Claude, and then Claude analyzes all of the transcripts, and then I basically have like a summary of like what are my potential clients' top pain points, so that way I could speak to them. Like it helps my marketing messages. It helps me understand what someone needs. That's one example of how we use it. Another example with that same Fathom is it actually automatically creates tasks for us within our task board. So like we finish a call with a client and then they're like, okay, I need you to do this. And then like a task is created.
Yeah.
So, we've been playing a lot with all these different things, which all honestly are AI based and like automation, workflow, connecting different tools. I also set up an automation that basically every day I get an email with like my key metrics about my business. Because things are spread out around different tools. So I get one email saying like, this is your revenue. This is, how you are in terms of your goal, how many leads you got, where your leads are from, all different metrics that are important to me. So like, to me,
Yeah.
that's a game changer. And then on top of that, there's insights obviously from AI.
Yeah.
So we're working a lot to implement it with
It's
a lot of
funny
our
you mentioned
clients.
Fathom because I love Fathom. That's one I use
Yes.
a good amount. It's incredible. And it's funny how you mentioned it too. Like that, what I do a lot consulting with real estate brokers and how to implement like actual AI solutions within their business. Because what's funny is like all these small businesses, kind of as you said, they see the thing and they're like, okay, that's great. How do we do this? Like, how do we, like everyone knows that they need somehow because it's the buzzword of the day, AI. It's taken over the whole world. Everyone kind of knows that they need to implement it somehow, but all these small businesses, especially, the big corporations, they're fine. They pay people to take care of it, but they have
Right.
no idea how do they implement this within their business to, bring in more clients, be more productive, efficient. Like that's where, again, like I like to consult with the real estate brokers to tell them like, hey, these are the tools that you can use to help make your, business more efficient over here. Yeah, identifying the pain points using AI too that I like to use with Fathom as
Yeah,
well. So it's great that you brought that up because there is I think just so much that people just don't know. And I mean,
for sure.
you don't know what you don't know. It's
Yeah.
just
I mean, I have someone like someone the other day sent me a check, right? Like a check in the
yeah,
mail. And I
yeah.
was like it was so foreign to me because first I'm like, you had to go to the post office and like send it or whatever, send it out, like get a stamp. But also like I was just thinking about my process, and like my process is like I send out a contract to someone. It takes me
Yeah,
10 seconds to send it out
yeah.
because of automations I set up. They sign the contract electronically. It automatically connects to their payment system. So like
Yep.
when I need to bill them, like it's already there. And I'm like, why would you write a check in today's world?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I deal with a lot of clients who like to still fax if they can, and I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
I
So,
don't know. I don't even know have a
yeah.
fax machine. I don't even know where I can find a fax
Oh,
machine.
yeah, I'm with you on that. We actually have a client that not in the real estate world, but they sell a medical device and they work with a lot of doctors' offices, so they need
Yeah,
to fax. So we actually
yeah,
set up through Monday, we set up that you sent out automated faxes, like at certain points when they need like a new
yeah.
prescription, it automatically sends a fax to the doctor.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and
Yeah,
and
so they
that's the
don't have a
thing.
fax machine like this company. It's all
But
like
that's
e-fax.
the tech that we have there now. Yeah, because that's what I use. I just have an eFax now.
Right.
So it just goes there to my email. It's like, okay, great. Here you can fax me your documents, I guess. Well, that's great. So I guess we'll lead into, I guess, where do you see your company going? How do you see like the pain points you're dealing with? How do you expect to overcome them? And like where you see yourself going in here in the future?
Yeah, great question. Something that's always on my mind. So for me personally, like, it's just been a lot. It's been a huge learning curve, how to be a CEO, how to run my own company. I feel like every year I have like certain things that I want to take into the next year that I'm learning to be better. Um, as a company, I think we're not only doing just Monday anymore, just because people are using a number of tools and they need everything to be connected. So, more of this like integrated workflows of different tools, connecting them using tools like Zapier and Make, or N8N is a lot of what we're starting to do. And some of these like light AI products, I'll call them, like let's say this Fathom thing, like potentially, that's something that someone needs. That's where I think the world is heading, but I am a little hesitant, like because I think we're in this like AI boom, and we need to wait for it to kind of settle.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see where that goes. But yeah, like I think to position ourselves as service, like just like what you said, like helping realtors, like helping people actually figure out their workflows. Like I think people still want to talk to a person and have someone understands what they're going through, and I think the service piece that we offer is a huge is definitely something we're going to continue.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the, I think you're right where we're sort of like in that bubble. It seems like there's like a new tool coming out every day with like AI, and it's like I can't keep up with
Correct.
all
Yes.
this because it like you get familiar with this, and it's like, oh, there's a new one over here now, and it's like, oh, it
Yeah.
has
And
these
you don't really
features
understand,
or
like, yeah, you
yeah,
don't understand half the things that they are, the initials, what they do. Like, I
yeah.
don't know. To me, everything sounds very similar.
I know
Yeah, I think it's going to
you got to play with a lot of
change.
tools in order to actually figure it out, how
Correct.
to actually use it and utilize it. There's actually a fun one that, and you kind of alluded to it earlier. There's a off topic from where we're going, but I have a tool that I like to use. It's in AI SDR, so calling clients for these brokers. Say we got a pool of your area of people that own homes, and we have their phone numbers and they're opted in. They're like, great, let's give them a call. Hey, you looking to list your home? You looking to buy? And it's all AI. So that grinding phone call is now done there by these tools, and it can just book a phone call with the agents just right there within a few minutes. If so, it's just
Amazing.
the amount of time that saves in man hours is huge, but you got to know how
Yes.
to do it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
No, so many people don't, and I think it's just some people are stuck. Whereas it's like, yeah, this is how we always done it. This is how we grind it out, right? Yeah, I do 500 dials in a week, right? That's just
Yeah.
what we do. It's like,
You
like
don't
I
need to
can't
do
do that
that
anymore.
anymore.
Yeah,
It's true.
but that's great. So, we're getting a little towards the end here. Anything, particularly that you would like to share, like anything, especially for our audience as well, that you've learned that I think you think is just important in just how to, operate a successful business.
Right. So what I see is, look, people are coming to me to make their business more efficient. And there's always like this hesitation of like, I could figure it out myself first, let me pay you. And people are like, well, I'm not sure. And the other day I was talking to someone and he's like, he's a salesman, right? So he's like, I spent a day and a half, like a solid day and a half trying to figure out Monday,
Yeah,
because they're like, well, we're a little short on budget. We don't want to pay you, which I get. Like, I really respect that. But I'm like, how much money would you have earned in that day and a half that you didn't work, and you're still not done? And it's probably going to take you another 3 weeks to set up a system,
yeah,
like, when you could hire someone. So I think that trade off is, sometimes you should do things yourself, and sometimes you need to learn like when it makes more sense to give it off to someone else and to pay someone to do it, because the things that you can do to be more efficient is essentially like so that way you can work on the bigger things in your business. Like I do all the sales for my business. So we set up a workflow that I send out proposals. It takes me like under 10 seconds to send out proposals. So
yeah,
it was worth the time, the one time to set that up. So I have that. And then like I feel like I'm like buying back my time every single day when I send out proposals. So
yeah,
I think it's really worth it to invest in workflows and things that could be automated. and focus on what you need to do to run the business, and grow the business, and just do the automations, like get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, I think that all comes down to the ROI, right? Are you investing your money wisely? And is it because you're right. Spend a day and a half to learn it. It's like, well, we have someone here. It's much you're better off doing the thing that's actually going to make you money than
Right. Yeah. I
because that's
I
what you
even
do.
once yeah, I even have once, like, just to like show you the extreme example. So Monday has different plans. So someone was on like a standard plan and they couldn't like do one thing on the standard plan, and I don't know, it was like an extra $75 a month to like jump up to the next plan, and he's like, "No, I don't want to do it." He hired an assistant to do this one thing that Monday could do. And I'm like, how much are you paying this person every single month? It's another body in your office. It's another whatever you need to
Yeah,
deal with like another person, versus like paying for a tool. Like, it was like so shocking to me. But a
yeah,
lot of people do that because they don't know what you can automate. Like, there's really,
yeah,
like, you definitely need human intervention, but there's a lot that can be automated, and I think it's really worth to take the time to figure it out.
yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks, Tara, for joining us here. I think we learned a lot about the business, what you're doing, and I guess also just some good best practices and how we should operate. So if anyone ever needs to implement Monday, we got Tara
Or
here.
workflows, or automated
Right? Or
workflows, not only
workflows. You're
Monday.
right. You're right. Yeah, yeah. There's more than
Yes,
that now, right? That's great.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. But thank
Um,
you for having me.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I guess that's another episode here of the Team Playbook. Thank you, Tara.
Awesome. Thank you. This was great.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time. Send it to me. I'm happy to share it.